Welcome to this lesson to help you learn English with the news. We're going to read a news article together, and you're going to learn a lot of advanced vocabulary, complex sentence structure, advanced grammar, and even correct pronunciation directly by reading this article with me. Welcome back to JForrest English Training. Of course, I'm Jennifer, and this is your place to become a fluent, confident English speaker. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to our article. We're talking about one of the most popular stores around the world, Walmart. Do you shop at Walmart? I'm sure it's very popular in your city, right? If it is, let us know in the comments. And we're talking specifically about bags. So let's read the headline. Walmart bans single-use bags in more stores. First, let's talk about the word ban. This is a verb. Right now it's conjugated in the present simple and is conjugated with Walmart, which is it. Walmart, the subject is it. So it bans single-use bags in more stores. So to ban. When you ban something, you no longer allow it. So to no longer allow it. To no longer allow something. We can even use this with someone. For example, you might say, she was banned from Walmart because she stole something. So she took an item without paying for it. That means to steal. This is the past simple, stole. So she stole something, which is illegal, obviously. So she is no longer allowed at Walmart. She's banned from Walmart. Now, we use this with things like bags. You can use it with certain products like smoking. Smoking is banned in almost all public places, at least in North America. So smoking has been banned from all restaurants. I'll say all restaurants in North America, at least. Is it the same in your country? Can you smoke in a restaurant? You certainly cannot in North America. Notice I put the present perfect. Smoking has been banned. I used the present perfect simply because it's a completed action in the past, but there's a result in the present. The result now is you cannot smoke at a restaurant. That's why I used the present perfect. Now, notice this is also in the passive form, I should point out, to be banned, because she is receiving the action. She isn't doing the action, right? So if I wanted to put it in the active form, what would I do to this sentence? To put this sentence in the active form, I would start with Walmart, which is the subject doing the action. Walmart banned her from its stores, Walmart stores, because she stole something. Walmart banned her from its stores because she stole something. Now, in this case, I would say restaurants have banned smoking, to put it in the active form. So this is a common one to put in the passive form because it's focusing on the result of the action, not who is doing the action. So that could be a good one to practice in the active and the passive, and you can do that in the comment section if you'd like. Now, single-use bag. This is a single-use bag. You use it once and then you throw it away. That's where the single use came from. On the other hand, this is a reusable bag. And of course, they're right here in the picture as well. Let's continue on. Walmart will eliminate our future simple. So this hasn't happened yet because it's in the future simple, which is, of course, will plus base verb. That's our future simple. Will eliminate single-use paper and plastic. So the example I gave was just plastic, but you can also have single-use paper, a paper bag, and then you throw it out after one use. Carry-out bags. A carry-out bag is just a bag that you use to carry out your items. So instead of carrying them in your hands, you obviously put your items in your bag and you use the bag to carry out the items. So that's just what they mean by a carry-out bag. At the register, so this is the register where you pay. This looks like a self-checkout, and there is a scanner and you can put your payment details. So this is a register, what you see in the picture right here. At the register from stores in New York, Connecticut, and Colorado this month. So specific stores. Let's continue on. Walmart offers reusable shopping bags starting at 74 cents for customers without their own bags. So Walmart will no longer provide you with a bag. You have to pay for a bag. So you either bring your own bag to the store or you purchase one of their bags for 74 cents, which is less than $1. Now notice it says starting at, which means that 74 cents is the minimum price. There may be bags that are more expensive. So maybe 74 cents is for a small bag, and then there are larger bags that are $1.25, for example. We see this starting at plus price. So starting at plus price to say that the price is the minimum price. So we see this a lot in real estate. It might say these new condos start at $300,000. These new condos start at $300,000, which means the smallest unit, the cheapest unit is $300,000, and there are more expensive units available. So start at plus a price, minimum price. All right, and notice our verb tense here, offers. What verb tense is this? Walmart offers. It is the present simple, right? Present simple. And in this case, we're using the present simple because it's just a fact. Walmart offers. It's a fact. Walmart offers reusable shopping bags. Again, this is a reusable shopping bag. So what about you? Do you currently use reusable shopping bags? When you go to the store, do you take your own reusable shopping bags? Share that in the comments if you'd like. Let's continue on. Walmart's policies will mean the company is ahead of lawmakers in these states in the growing push to eliminate bags that are typically used once and then discarded. All right, so here, the company is ahead of lawmakers. This implies that a lawmaker, of course, is someone who makes a law. So this will likely be some sort of government law. So they are creating the law, and soon, legally, we will not be able to use plastic bags. They're going to ban them. So Walmart knows that's going to happen, and they're doing it on their own before the official law. So before they're officially legally required by the government, Walmart is doing this. So that means they're ahead of the law. Now also let's look at this. In the growing push, growing in this context means increasing. Increasing. Now a push to do something is when Walmart is feeling pressure to do this, probably because of environmental groups, because of climate change, because of consumer preferences and behavior, because of government policies that are going to come out in the near future. So there's a lot of pressure from other people to do something, and that pressure is increasing with growing. So push to, you can think of that just as pressure to, which means many people want something to happen. So within a business context, you might say, within our company, there's a growing push to work in the office. So right now, most people are working remotely, right? At home. But there's a growing, which means increasing push to. So pressure from HR department, from your boss, from managers, from clients, from stakeholders. They're saying, we want you back in the office. There's a growing push to work in the office. Let's continue on. Oh, I'll just point out discarded is another way of saying thrown out, and then discarded, thrown out, which means put in the garbage. So put in the garbage. So thrown is the third form of the verb. The verb is irregular. It's throw, threw, and then thrown. Throw out. I threw out my plastic bag. I've already thrown out all my plastic bags. I've put them in the garbage. Discarded is a more formal way of saying it. Honestly, for your purposes in an everyday context, use throw out. It's way more common. Let's continue on. Plastic bags entered supermarkets and retail chains during the 1970s and 1980s. Before then, prior to 1970, so that would mean in 1965, for example. Before then, customers used paper bags to bring groceries and other merchandise back home from the stores. Retailers switched to plastic bags because they were cheaper. So switch to something. So that is when, I wish I didn't throw out my bag. That's when you have your single-use bag, which is a plastic bag, and then you switch and you start using something else. So my reusable bag. We use this a lot. You might say, I think I might switch to Apple. Which means right now you are not using Apple products. Maybe you're using Samsung or something else, and then you're going to start using Apple. Switch to. If you want to include what you're currently using, you would say, I think I might switch from Android to Apple. So we use this with technology. You might switch the type of shampoo you use because you're not satisfied with it. You might switch what road you take to work because you want one with less traffic. So you can use this in many, many different ways. Just remember, switch to is the something you're going to start using. And switch from is the something you're going to stop using. Let's continue on. Americans use roughly 100 billion plastic bags every year. Wow, that sounds like a lot of plastic bags. Roughly means approximately. So it could be 90 billion. It could be 110 billion. It's approximately. approximately. Another way is around 100 billion. So around is probably the most casual. It's not slang in any way, but probably the most casual. Roughly would be in the middle, and then approximately would be the most formal. For example, you could say, I used roughly 10 plastic bags last month. Now you could say, I used approximately 10 plastic bags last month, or around 10 plastic bags. Same thing. Just a slight difference in the level of formality. Let's continue on. Plastic bags are also a major source of litter and wind up in the ocean, rivers, and sewers and harm wildlife. Let's look at wind up. This is a very useful phrasal verb. So I have my verb to wind and then my preposition wind up. Now, wind up, this is used to mean when you're in a particular situation or condition, but it's usually to be in, I'll say, an unexpected particular situation or condition. So the ocean, the rivers, sewers, that is not where these bags are supposed to be. They're supposed to be in the recycling bin, the recycling plant. But if they wind up here, it means they are in that situation or condition in the ocean, and it's unexpected or unintended. That could be another one, unintended, that they're there. So I might say, I stayed at home last night. But if I added, I winded up, I have to change this to a gerund because I have my preposition up. So I have to use a gerund grammatically. Now, if I added, I winded up staying at home last night, this implies to you that it was unexpected or unintended. So maybe I wanted to go to a party or I wanted to go to the mall, but for some reason I didn't. And I winded up staying at home. So that's all it does. It just talks about the end condition or situation or location, but implies that it was unexpected or unintended. So I'll write the original sentence, I stayed at home last night, because if I just say this, you have no idea if I wanted to or if I didn't want to. But if I add winded up, then you understand that wasn't my original intention. Just like the intention for these bags is not to be in the ocean. So let's continue on. Plastic bags do not biodegrade, and only 10% of them are ever recycled. Biodegrade is what happens when it is recycled. So when it biodegrades, it goes back into a different material that can be recycled, reused, but plastic does not do that. Paper bags, on the other hand, this is a great expression to show contrast, because here we're talking about plastic bags. Now I want to switch to paper bags so I can use on the other hand. Paper bags, on the other hand, are more easily recycled than plastic bags and are biodegradable. So paper bags do break down into particles that can be recycled, reused. But some states and cities have moved to ban, so to not allow paper bags because they are carbon intensive to produce. Adding carbon intensive, this means they take a lot of carbon. So they require a lot of carbon. We use this quite a lot, to be honest. I could say this job is very labor intensive, which means labor in this case means I'm like using my physical strength. This job is very labor intensive. I have to lift a lot of heavy objects and heavy boxes, and I'm very exhausted at the end of the day. Labor intensive. We use this with time intensive. This task is very time intensive. So maybe it's not a difficult task, but it takes a lot of time. So when you add intensive to the noun, it simply means require a lot of, and then whatever that noun is. So that's our article. I hope you learned a lot of great vocabulary and grammar, and hopefully now you will start using reusable bags if you don't already. So now what I'll do is I'll read the article from start to finish so you can focus on my pronunciation and practice along with my pronunciation. So let's do that now. Walmart bans single-use bags in more stores. Walmart will eliminate single-use paper and plastic carry-out bags at the register from stores in New York, Connecticut, and Colorado this month. Walmart offers reusable shopping bags starting at 74 cents for customers without their own bags. Walmart's policies will mean the company is ahead of lawmakers in these states in the growing push to eliminate bags that are typically used once and then discarded. Plastic bags entered supermarkets and retail chains during the 1970s and 1980s. Before then, customers used paper bags to bring groceries and other merchandise back home from stores. Retailers switched to plastic bags because they were cheaper. Americans use roughly 100 billion plastic bags every year. Plastic bags are also a major source of litter and wind up in the ocean, rivers, and sewers and harm wildlife. Plastic bags are the fifth most common type of plastic litter, according to Ocean Conservancy, an environmental advocacy group. Plastic bags do not biodegrade, and only 10% of them are ever recycled. Paper bags, on the other hand, are more easily recycled than plastic bags and are biodegradable. But some states and cities have moved to ban them because they are carbon intensive to produce.
Amazing job with this lesson. Now, you can look in the description or look in the comment section below to find the link where you can download the free lesson PDF that summarizes everything we learned in this lesson. And if you found this lesson helpful, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe. And before you go, make sure you head on over to my website, JForrestEnglish.com, and download your free speaking guide. In this guide, I share 6 tips on how to help you speak English fluently and confidently. And until next time, happy studying!